All right, welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Motivating Force podcast. I'm Josue, and joining me, as always, we have Justin. Now, this week, I've been a little heated about this specific topic, seeing how it's been all over the news, all over the media, and it's like this pop culture trend, I guess you can call it, right? It's kind of everywhere now. But it has to do with stocks. I know we had a previous episode where we talked a lot about the importance of looking into your financial future and being financially literate. And I guess we didn't go deep enough on specifics on what you need to do to make sure everything's on track. Lately, it's going to be kind of like a little rant. Lately, I've been having this frustration building up inside of me while I'm at work, right? Why, you ask? So many of my coworkers and peers that are over there, you can say it's an age thing, but it ranges. There's people in their teens, and I got people 30, 40 years old that are doing the same thing. What's the issue? They don't know what they're doing in the stock market. They're getting into it, and they're clueless. So what I want to do is kind of like narrow in more on this topic and really kind of elaborate on the necessities that you need to have before you start throwing your money into these different brokers. If you use like apps like Robinhood or Webull, I know that they seem to be like people friendly, like it's easy to learn, but you have to be willing to learn to like understand it more, you know?
Yeah, that hard entry into the stock market originally kind of seemed to be a good thing, because by the time you figured out how to even trade stocks, where to go for it, you already ended up learning a lot about it along the way. Yeah. And now you just download the app, punch in your bank account, and you're good to go.
Yeah, but what I'm seeing now is that so many of these people, I'm just blanket statement, not calling anybody out, they are watching like a 4-minute video on YouTube, and they're going, okay, I know everything there is to know about the stock market, right? I just want to trade in this one form of stock, let's call it cryptocurrency, and that's all I need to know. I don't have to do anything else. It's easy enough, big buy button, so I'm just going to throw my money into that, right? They don't understand that they're putting their money, and then they think because the number on the screen is going up that they now have that amount of money. But you need to be able to sell that.
Yeah. Man, I've been seeing the same issue too at my job, because it is the cultural trend right now being inside the stock market. And personally, I mean, I guess really that is a trend that I can get behind. People looking out for their futures, actually doing something important about their future personally, which is great. I just love how you called it a little rant, because I know we're already a couple minutes into it, man, and it's not even started yet.
Yeah, no, dude.
But I think I'm really just going to throw out a bunch of one-line zingers here the whole time, because that's really kind of what resonates with me when it came to the stock market. And the way I've learned things is I'll sit here and spill my frustrations out that I had in my growing pains and learning about stocks. And the people that I would ask would do that to me. They just threw me little one-liners. Like it is really simple, but that's the part that a lot of people can miss. And that goes both ways, because now they just jump over into this hugely complicated mess, and then it's not efficient. They're going to fall behind. And then you get people that will be like, well, it is simple, so let me not look up anything at all about it. Just put money in and wait for the green days to come.
Right.
You know?
So to start off and like kind of further in this rant that I was telling you, like all these people are watching just short clips, short videos, or that's even too much, a short video of how to work Robinhood or how to work whatever it is, or what the idea of Dogecoin is, right? That now they've become like these financial accountants in 30 minutes, you know, like they're having this like round table discussion when we should be working, and they're just chit-chatting away about, oh yeah, it's going up. I have $10 in this, $10 in that, $20 in this one, $5 in this. I'm like, $5? Like, I'm just kind of like, let's be honest, eavesdropping, because I'm trying to work and my back's turned to them and I'm just listening to them go on. And I'm like, God, this is so infuriating, because they're saying, oh yeah, I got so much money now because of the stocks and all that. And I'm like, okay, bet. And like I said earlier, like some of them, well, let's be honest, all of them are talking about one particular stock in general. And if you wanted to guess what that was, seeing how it is popular, Dogecoin. right? Everybody is all over Dogecoin. And when I ask them, hey, can you tell me what a cryptocurrency is? Or like the specifics of that stock? And they go, no, it's just in the media. It's just on Reddit. Everybody's talking about it. It's going to go up. I'm like, okay, cool. Tell me the difference between a cryptocurrency and a normal like share. Like if you want to invest in a business or something, tell me what, like, they're clueless. I'm like, okay, so then why are you going around saying that you're this big hotshot with all this money if you can't tell me what you're putting your money into?
Yeah, you're not investing at that point. You're gambling.
That's the biggest thing, and that's what we're trying to avoid people doing, because that's what the stock market's trying to avoid with when you have a limit on what you can sell in days and whatever. That's logistics of it all. But the importance is like fundamentals, right? A lot of these people are getting screwed by ignorance. And that's kind of like one of the main drives that I wanted to push today, is to stop getting screwed by ignorance of not knowing what you're doing. Okay, it's fine. You don't have to fully know what that company is or what it is that they're doing for you to put your money into it. If you feel like it's a good investment, different people do stocks and they trade different ways. They have different techniques and like formulas that they do. Sorry, I meant charting, not formulas, but it's like their plan of attack for it. And I know in the previous video when we were talking about being financially literate, that you have to research all these things. And that's kind of what the normal day-to-day person that doesn't listen to this podcast is doing, or is lacking. They're not researching the fundamentals. And that's the biggest thing that's causing my frustration, because then when I go, all right, so talk to me. Like I eventually broke and I was like, listen, you guys got to talk to me because you sound stupid right now. Like I can hear you guys from like a third person perspective saying and screaming that you don't know what you're doing. So explain to me, okay, stocks go up and down. How are you, like when and how are you going to sell that stock so then you can have as much as you're saying you have, quote unquote, right now?
Yeah.
Clueless. Oh no, I get the excuse of, I don't know how to sell. I'll just save that for later. When it goes up, I'll just eventually sell then. I'm like,
back to my one-liners. Yeah, that's like, the money isn't yours until you sell it.
Yeah.
And that goes both ways. When you're taking a loss, well, you didn't really lose anything yet because you haven't sold the position. Same thing when you're making the money. If it's going to the moon, quote unquote,
yeah,
you didn't make the money until you sell. How long do you sit? How long do you wait? And that first initial step for those basics is learn how to chart something.
Yeah.
Because, you might not have to dive into the specifics of that company, what they're about, what they're doing, but just off of historical data, you can chart the stock and determine, where you should buy, where you should sell, where your resistance lines are. And that's something that even, like you said, even a 15-minute video on how to chart is going to take you so much further than listening to some punk sitting here telling you about cryptocurrencies are the future of the stock market. This is how we're all going to make money. By the way, buy this one coin that doesn't really exist and bump it up so I can pull my money out of it and take yours.
Yeah. And that's another thing. Like we're not telling you this is the one-stop shop of, all your financial needs. Like we're going to be the people to enlighten you all on how to work the system or whatever. Our purpose on what we're trying to get across to you is, listen, we're trying to like fuel that fire to make you realize that you do need to research more. Even if it's not our videos, if it's somebody else's videos, if there's courses you're taking or books you want to get on the stock market so you can feel more comfortable, because a lot of it's that they're trying to avoid the discomfort of it. They don't want to go and sell at this price and then realize that that's not selling because there's somebody else selling cheaper a buttload of stocks. That all has to go away before yours is even available. It's like you said before, off air, it's a marketplace. That's really what you're doing. You need to put it out there for somebody else to grab it.
Yeah, I mean, that's the biggest issue, because I ran into that with a coworker who was telling me about that, where he was saying his buddy was telling him like, oh, I was trying to sell this one crypto at its peak, and I put up the sell order, and it didn't fill, and it didn't fill, and it didn't fill, and then when it sold, I lost like $200. And granted, he had a lot of money and put a big position in, but he was like dissuading my coworker from even trying to learn about stocks, learn about investments, because he's like, no, it's a scam. You put it up to sell, it's not going to sell the stuff. And it's like, that's how I had to explain it to my coworker, was exactly that. And I was telling him, man, it's a marketplace. If you're selling it, not some magical fairy is going to come along and buy it. Somebody has to buy it.
Yeah.
You know, good for your friend for recognizing a peak and being able to put up a sell order. But if you have this huge position in something and other people are seeing that peak, they're not going to grab it. It's not going to fill. It's that simple, you know? And I asked him, I said, well, you need to ask your friend. Oh, sure. Yeah. You lost a couple $100 doing that, but how much did you still make?
Yeah.
You know, you can't be greedy. That's the very first thing I learned about the stock market is don't be greedy.
Well, hold on. You're getting a little ahead of yourself because I'm
right.
gonna eventually get to that.
Right.
The importance first. Let's get on track. Okay. The first thing, like when it comes to all of this and like even our journeys when we started getting interested in, you know, looking out for our financial futures and whatnot. I know your father took like a year of just paper trading, of research and looking up different videos and taking classes and all that stuff on the stock market before he started day trading or whatever it is that he's doing.
Yeah. And for people who don't know, paper trading it's a simulation of the stock market, and you're going to actually be trading values with fake money. That's why it's called paper trading.
Yeah. It's basically it's a
simulator.
Instead of clicking on it on the screen in the actual broker, you're just going off of the numbers that are on there. But then you either write them or you put them in some simulator that the computer has, and then you can see, oh, okay, that would have been a good move. So now, okay, I can try to emulate that in another stock. Or, oh, maybe that was a terrible move on my end. I can learn from that, and you move on. So then that way, when you actually start using real money, you know, your hard-earned money, you don't lose it because you're comfortable. And I mean, I even took a couple of months. I would sit with you. I talked to your dad. And I just kind of wanted to get my head around the concept, be comfortable in speaking about it before I even attempted it. Because I don't want to sit here and lose, even if it's $20, you know, it doesn't seem like much, but hey, that's still kind of my money, you know?
Yeah. But how many times do you want to keep losing like that?
Exactly. You don't want to keep losing until it becomes $1,000. And what are you going to do? Yeah. You're never going to want to do that again.
I'm not going to pull you off track here with this.
Yeah.
But I do just want to say one thing about that, because it kind of clicked in my head for a second. I think that's probably part of the reason why the stock market is trending, because it just like light bulb moment dawned on me. You're talking about people's hard-earned money.
Yeah.
How much money do people have right now from a stimulus check?
A lot.
From unemployment.
Yep.
Money. Okay, technically unemployment for most people, they worked for it. It's a safety net you build into. I understand that. Don't get me wrong. Yeah. There is a time to collect that. My point is, but also you're collecting all this money. You're getting all this free money that you're not like actively working for right now, and you're just like, what's $100? I got a $1,400 check for sitting on my butt.
Yeah.
Let me take $100 and throw it in the stocks.
Yeah, and what I was going to say too is that on that unemployment checks, I know a lot of people that are getting unemployment that are getting a bigger check from that than their actual job. You know, and that's a big issue with what's going on now, that people are realizing, you know, slave wages, or, you know, like that they can't support themselves working minimum wage when they can sit around not doing anything and collect unemployment. So that's another issue.
Yeah, I was gonna say, don't worry, wait for your water bottle to hit $2 and your gas to hit $5. Don't worry about it. We'll talk about that another time.
That's another issue. But yeah, like you said, they're getting these big checks that they really don't know what to do with it. And even, you know, you got your taxes, so it's like people are used to spending that with whatever it is. You can, you know, it's kind of free money that you really weren't counting on. So it's like you can blow that on whatever. Now they're getting multiple checks throughout the year that they're like, oh, this is just extra. I don't know what to do with it. Let me just throw it away. That's essentially what they're doing because they don't know how to reclaim it. And one of the issues I was talking to you off air is that, okay, these people, like I said, that they're afraid to do the research on how to sell. They just want to, they know how to buy. So it's easy to click and
that's the question. Now. They don't know how to buy. Okay, they know how to buy. They don't know when to buy.
That's another thing. They're just buying.
Yeah.
So they're just going, okay, I heard about Dogecoin a week ago. I just got the app. Let me just hit buy because it's the big blue button at the bottom of the screen, or green, whatever other brokers have. And, you know, they're just buying. Okay, fine. And then now they see it rise, they see it go down, they see it rise again. And Dogecoin, we all know, has been going through the roof, has a couple dips. But lately,
it's dipped.
I think last week it dipped hard. And I kind of looked at everybody. I was like, okay, what'd you do wrong? They're like, oh, I just didn't sell. I was like, why? Oh, because you don't know how to sell.
Yeah.
So it would have been smart for you to learn how to sell before you bought, or even right after you bought. Like, come on. It's like giving me $1, I turn it into $10 or $100, and then you just don't know how to put it into words to say, hey, can I have that money back?
Yeah.
That's bottom line what they're doing. They just don't know how to put it into words to ask for the money back. So I'm just holding on to their money. I can go blow it. I can keep it going up. What are you going to do? What are you going to do, guy?
Yep. It's a big issue, man. It really is. And because, I mean, a lot of it plays in, especially right now, all this stimulus money coming out, things like that. We are going to see inflation coming up. And what inflation is going to do is it's also going to inflate the stock market. So because that dollar is not going to be worth $1 anymore, all these companies, you know, their percentages, everything's going to go up, right? Up in price. And that's going to include these stocks, which means if you've already bought into them, you're going to see that price go up, even though the value is not really, because you have to account for that inflation. But for people that don't know that, don't understand that, they're seeing everything just going up right now. And that's typically why over the history of the stock market, stocks always go up.
Yeah.
So when people see that dip and they see it tank for a minute or something like that, they're like, well, you know, I'll just wait for it to come back up. And it's a terrible strategy to do, especially if you're really trying to invest, really make some money off of it. You know, obviously, if you're into a stock for like dividend purposes, things like that, and you see it tank, you're like, okay, well, it's time to double down. Yeah. Now I should buy more because I'll get more dividends.
Yeah, because that's the longer play.
But it's knowing the different utilities of these stocks and what to do.
Yeah. Because
if you sell it, you know, even if a stock is only moving $1 a day up and down, how many times are you going to buy and sell it? Because I tell you what, if you buy and sell that 3 times a day and you're making $1 each time off of it, instead of just sitting there riding the wave for a week, you're going to end up with so much more money. And that's really the efficient way. That's the strategy. That's the point of the charts, looking at your lines. And people just don't do it. And I think a big issue with that too is the way we get into cryptocurrencies.
Yeah.
There's not really a whole lot of historical data on them. So charting them is really iffy, and it really does play into more of a gamble, especially with these altcoins like Dogecoin and whatnot.
Yeah.
They serve literally no purpose. You know, you talk about Bitcoin, you talk about Ethereum, you got all your blockchains out there.
Yeah, Litecoin.
That they're actually used for something.
Yeah.
You know, banks are literally trading Ethereum. They're trading Bitcoin from country to country. They're using it as a means to wire money, whereas it used to take 3 days to do that. And it would take your bank some time to do that too. They weren't telling you to wait 3 days because they didn't believe you had it. It was literally like transactional process that had to happen. And with Bitcoin, it's overnight.
Yeah.
Well, faster than that, you know, it's in a second.
Immediate, yeah.
And it's like, there's utility to that. And that's why those things blew up. And then people want to associate that type of cryptocurrency with these other cryptocurrencies that's all based around hype.
Yeah.
And it's not good.
Yeah, bandwagoning it's not, like, a lot of people do it, and it does cause it to rise. But for how long is it going to rise when it comes to bandwagon stocks? Because the ones that initially start that kind of hype for it, they know, you know, it's going to go up. So then they get everybody to get into it. You know, everybody jump on the bandwagon. And then once it peaks, they're the first ones to pull because they're like, hey, I started this. These people have no idea what they're doing. So let me pull because of them. And like you said earlier with, you know, now let me take your money. But when it comes to crypto, like, I spent probably like an hour or two the other day just trying to explain Bitcoin alone to my girlfriend, because she's not into stocks and any of that, but she was just asking because so many people are talking about it. It's all over YouTube. And she was like, hey, what's the deal with this? And I just went off. I didn't realize it because I was just going on, next point. And I look over and she's like, that's a lot. I'm like, yeah. And all these people that are just, you know, throwing their money at it probably don't know half of that.
Yeah.
And, you know, it has a lot to do, you know, we mentioned hype. And before I get into that, you have to also understand the broker or, you know, app. If people are trading mobilely on their phones, like, know that app and that broker and how to, like, function it, like how to work it with the ins and outs, you know, how to look at the charts. Like I was showing somebody a like an example on a stock, right? Okay, it shows that this one's going down, let's say 40 cents, right? But then you go back a week and they're like, oh, you can go back a week? I'm like, okay, let me take you back 3 months. Let me take you back 3 months, right?
Yeah.
And it had $15 increase over 3 months. Hypothetical. Let's just say it went up $15 and you're only seeing the $5 dip.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
It's got a long way to go.
It's still going up.
Yeah.
If it's been steady going up over a couple months, but you're only getting this window of what's happening today,
yeah,
you're going to be discouraged. You're not going to want to invest in it. Next thing you know, it's going to be triple because you're going to look at it months down the line. You're going to be like, oh, what happened? I thought it was going down. Learn how to look at the charts. Learn how to, there's different things that you can get on these apps. I know like Webull has like level 2 and you can see different books to see what the stocks are selling at in more detail. But then, like I said, with the hype, we knew about Dogecoin back when it was like 0.07 cents. Like it wasn't even a cent, or 0.007.
Yeah.
It wasn't even a penny.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, like my broker, Webull, didn't have, it wasn't offering that trade. It just only started that like a month or two ago. And that kind of made me, it kind of forced my hand. I couldn't trade it. So I was like, okay, it's not for me. I can't get into it. That's fine. Leave it alone. And that's where my last point comes in, is that FOMO. You can't have that fear of missing out. You can't have that build up, because then it's going to increase to the point of, like you said at the beginning, gambling.
Yep.
Because then you're going to start having that greediness come in, like, oh, okay, now let me open up a different broker and then put money in that one so then I can do this. And then you're going to forget about that one because you have money in this one. It's going to be all over the place. You're going to be stressing yourself out. We're trying to keep that mental space clear. We talked about meditation before. So it's like, you can't be stressing yourself out over this because you're starting to get greedy.
Yeah.
That FOMO is kicking in. And, now it reached, it was like 60 cents?
70. I think I hit 70. Yeah.
Yeah, Dogecoin went up.
Yeah.
Am I sitting here buying it at
less than a cent?
Am I sitting here buying it at 40, 50 cents? I don't care. It's fine. I'm past that point because I understand you can't have that FOMO when it comes to trading stocks. Yeah. I'm not going to buy Dogecoin. I'll see it go up. I'll see it go down. I think now it's at like 30 something.
Well, I mean, all right. I do see your point. I do understand the gambling side of it, and I do actually have a certain percentage of the money in my account that I use for that purpose, where I want to take a gamble on something, because at the same time, high risk, high reward is a real thing.
Let's not call it gambling.
This is why I don't really want to get into that, because it's not the message we're trying to get across today.
Yeah.
Right. And I guess the real point of it, and it's like, it's unfortunate that Dogecoin went where it went.
Yeah.
Because in reality, there was no reason for it.
It started off as a meme
coin. It's a meme coin. It was used as a joke that you can gift to people for whatever, right? Stupid purposes there. And then you get some big names that hop into it and talk about it. And this brings me up to another one-liner that is super important that I've learned. And that is, two-liner. Sorry. So the first one that applies to the real stock market is volume leads the price.
Yeah.
If you're going to watch a stock and you're really seriously interested in what's going on and what you're doing with your money, you want to look at the volume first and see if it's got momentum. Because that momentum can be both good and bad. You can watch the momentum go, the volume go crazy through the roof, but that means that price is either going to skyrocket or it's going to tank. And then now it comes into, what do you know about that company? What's going on with them? What are they doing? That should give you an idea of where that price is going to move, right? And the second point to that is, the big movers, the whales that are out there pushing millions and millions and millions of dollars of just straight cash through these markets, they are 3 to 4 days, weeks, months ahead of you, depending on the situation. So, and the perfect example for that I like using is the very first day that they announced that Elon Musk was going to go on Saturday Night Live. I bought Doge.
Yeah.
Okay. It was at like 42 cents. Over the course of the next week, it went up and it peaked at that 70 cents.
Yep.
Okay. The day before his
Saturday.
SNL premiere comes on, it dropped from 70 cents to 58, and then it went all the way back down to 51.
Well, it went back down. It like shot down as soon as he got on stage. As soon as he like his face was on camera, it went. Pew!
Yeah. And so that is the real world application of how that goes. These people are going to be so far ahead of you, which is why, and I've seen it too with frustrations of some people learning about this. They're like, well, I see all this good news about this stock, and then I go and buy into it, and then the price starts dropping. It's like, why? It's like, well, that good news that you're just now hearing from whatever source you have, the big whales knew about that way before you did. And that's where you have to really be able to interpret that data and see, like, is this good news or is this bad news? Like emergency news, like every single time somebody dies in a Tesla because they're too busy, playing Angry Birds on their phone while their car's on autopilot, and they die, and Tesla's price plummets. Every time that emergency statement comes up, yeah, the price is going to drop.
Yeah.
But you see, like, the long term where, like, the last bad news about Tesla, and I not really hating on Tesla, it's just I follow them because I personally play with that stock. Their reports for their sales in China were inaccurate.
Yeah.
By the time that report came out, the stock didn't really drop. It had already dropped the week before that. Because I'm telling you, these people, they know. They know a lot more ahead of you.
Yeah.
So it's really hard to go off of the news. And the best bet, like I'm saying, follow the volume based off of what you know about that company and give you a good idea of where it's going. And learn when to sell. Because the money's not yours until you sell it.
Well, yeah, and that's the biggest drive that I'm trying to push is that money's not yours, or, you can't get that money back in the number that you're seeing on screen until you sell it and somebody buys that off of you. As we said about the marketplace. And, that drives into that greed side that we talked about before and, FOMO, if you're missing out or whatever. Let's say you did eventually sell, right? At that point that you sold, forget about it. Don't look at that stock anymore for a little bit. If you have some kind of like problem on, regret, if you call it a problem, like if you sell at a point and then the stock continues to go up, don't buy in again. Just, leave it be. Don't be greedy. It's sold,
like you said,
it kept going
you
up.
shouldn't even know it's going up because as soon as you sell, you shouldn't be watching that stock anymore, either for the day or for the week, depending on what your goals were with that stock.
Yeah.
You want to stay away from it.
Yeah, because that's going to drive you insane to go, oh, okay, I sold at $3, let's say, and then it shot up to $4. Okay, now next time you make an investment, plan it out a little bit better, learn the charts a little bit more. You're gaining experience from this. You still made money.
Yeah.
Don't get so greedy and tied up in what could have been. This applies to every aspect of your life. Don't get caught up in the what ifs.
Yeah.
Just move on, continue to grow, and invest better in the future. That's all we're trying to get you to understand. And again, continue research. Keep watching videos. Keep reading books. Keep taking classes. Whatever it is. Just get more information so then at the end of the day, you're more comfortable waiting 5 seconds before you hit sell.
Yeah.
Because those 5 seconds can make a big change.
They sure can. And it plays a lot into having a fully well-rounded life, a fully well-rounded, character traits about yourself, having the structured life that we talk about so much because, you need so many things. You need that level head. You need the logistics. You need to be able to plan it, chart it, the knowledge of it, the patience of it. Right? You need to be able to overcome some fears, definitely, especially when you start moving up in the values. And you need discipline. You need so much discipline. And for the same reason that you can prevent yourself from being tempted, like with the FOMO thing, that's why a lot of traders, it doesn't matter how experienced they are, when they sell it, they won't look at it for the rest of the day.
Yeah.
And it's not because they can lack that discipline, but it's because they know better. They know that they're a human.
Yeah.
And if that stock goes way up, the next time they chart something out, it hits that price, they'll be like, well, remember what happened last time. And then it's going to creep up above it a little bit, and you're going to be like, oh, I was right. And then it's going to tank.
Yep.
And you're going to lose all your money. You know? And I think that's the biggest thing that people don't realize with this. Because, I mean, right now the stock market's great. Cryptocurrencies are great. You put money anywhere and give it any set amount of time that you want, you're going to make some money. It's just the way it is right now. Like I said, the stimulus checks coming out, inflation going up, all those things you're going to make money doing it. But the problem is stocks and cryptos can only go so high, but they can all go to zero.
Correct.
So for as easy as it seems for you to be making money right now, it is a lot easier. It's 10 times easier for you to lose everything. Final piece of advice I have for everybody.
No, dude, that's great because, I mean, that's the truth. You know, everybody can lose all the money that they put in, but we're trying to avoid people losing their money here. And the best way to do that, again, know what you're doing. And like I mentioned a couple brokers and apps or whatever you want to call them that, you know, I know personally Webull, they have like courses, I wouldn't even call them courses. It's almost like information that helps you, even if you're a beginner, you're just trying to get into it. It's like lesson 1.1, and then it tells you how to manage the app. Okay, this is this one screen. And then once you get to like lesson 3.1, okay, here's how you sell, right? And then lesson 4.1, 0.3, 0.2, 0.3, 0.4, whatever, it goes on. But the next step after learning how to sell is how to buy. So then they know you don't make that mistake. But you have to be willing to click on the lesson so then you understand how to use the app. And then it also fortifies your knowledge and helps you be comfortable in that realm of investing.
Yeah. I mean, the resources are right there. There's really no excuse for anybody out there.
Yeah.
You know, I know personally with Robinhood, they don't have that set up. It's one extra step, but they do send you newsletters, and they're I kind of hate that they call them newsletters because they're not. Robinhood does their best to really inform people who use their apps. And I guess the reason why they call it newsletter is they base it off of the current situation of the stock market. They're kind of like, hey, we just wanted to send you guys a little reminder, like, you know, cryptocurrencies don't last forever. And like they tell you all these things and people just, you know, they just crap on it all the time. Or of course you just change it and send it to your spam folder, you know, and it's like these apps that are out there, they are going to want to help you as much as...
Well, yeah, they want you to use the app.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And they do want you to be successful because then if you buy into their, you know, their actual packages for things, like, you know, then they can start making money off of you. And more so even on commissions, things like that. And they want to help you more than the guy on Instagram telling you what stocks to buy. If you ever... Okay, bonus piece of advice, because I said the other one's the last one. Bonus piece of advice. I'll shut up after this, I promise. If somebody tells you what stock they think you should buy, do not buy that stock. Because they think you should buy it so they can see what happens to your money.
Yeah.
So that way they know if they were right or wrong.
Yeah.
And it's 100% every time that way.
Yeah. And that's something you're going to get from us, is that we're not going to ever tell you what to buy when it comes to stocks, because, you know, that's not our expertise. We're not financial advisors. That's your money. You're the one that has to be financially literate enough to understand this, and that's why we're trying to get you to understand it. We're never going to tell you, hey, buy this or buy that, because that's not the way to go. But also, like, backtrack a little bit. When you said that the apps want you to be like as well informed as possible to help you out, I'm not sure about Robinhood, but do you also get, like, when you click on a stock at the bottom after, I think, like the books or whatever, you get comments of people commenting on the stock, you know, like to the moon or whatever. There's another tab on that. They can hit news, and it gives you every article where that stock is mentioned to tell you more about that company, what's happening. They're coming out with their sales reports at the end of the week, their quarterlies or whatever, then or they're starting up a new project, or they're making a new car, let's say, or they're testing new products. That's also going to affect the way the stock is going to act.
Yeah, we get the news feeds on the...
Okay, but then as simple as the other one was, where I showed them from the day's activity to 3 months to a year.
All you have to do is scroll down.
All you have to do is just know that it's there. Look around on it. Don't just hit buy, then leave it, then just watch numbers go up and down.
Yeah.
But I digress. This has been a great episode, I think. I hope you guys really get that message across. Be comfortable and be smarter with your trading when it comes to investing your hard-earned money / free money that you're getting from not doing anything, whatever the case may be. Don't just throw your money away, because you can really flip it and make a lot more money by investing properly. So if you guys want more motivation that we kick out every Monday and Wednesday for you, you can always check us out YouTube. We are now throwing up our episodes on...
Yeah, so we are going to start uploading all of our episodes to Anchor FM. Anchor FM kindly distributes our podcast to Spotify, Google Podcasts, Breaker,
I think. Yeah, we're going to put all that in the description. You can check us out wherever. I'm sure everybody has Spotify at this point. So if it's a little rough to, let's say, drive or work with, YouTube player up, you can always check us out on Spotify. You can close your phone and not have it turn off on you. So there's that if you guys are more comfortable with it. We're still trying to work with how to implement video that's going to be sending out audio only to all those different things. So that's really exciting news to share with you all. You can also follow us on our social medias as well down in the link.
Yeah. And just the note on that, we are backlogging some episodes onto Anchor originally, because we are testing everything out still. So we're still getting all the tags, everything on there, making sure they're distributing properly the way they should be, make sure the quality comes out the same, et cetera, et cetera. So because of that, you're only going to see a couple old episodes on there right now. But as we move forward here, new episodes will be uploaded there as well on the same schedule. So yeah, we look forward to seeing you guys there. Otherwise, you can follow us on our social medias. We do have Facebook, we have Instagram. Those links are down below. We still have a Parler. It is dead, so don't head over there. We'll see you on Facebook and Instagram, guys. Yeah. That's it.
We're updating a lot. In the next couple weeks, you're going to see big change, big news coming, and hopefully you guys all enjoy it. And until next time, go on and get.